Thank you for tuning in to the Keeping It Real with KC podcast, a no judgment zone podcast that covers lifestyle, entertainment, news, and sports. Even though KC doesn't watch sports, but these are minor details. By the way, he reads tarot cards too. Yes, I really mean it. He reads tarot cards too. And now, the host you've tuned in for, KC Phoenix.
Welcome back to the Keeping It Real with KC podcast. I, of course, am your host, KC Phoenix. Okay, so I wasn't even sure, I'll be honest with you, I wasn't even sure if I was doing this episode today. It's so crazy. I did the tarot reading yesterday for the collective, for those who listen to the tarot readings. And one of the things that came up was being in deep thought. And I've been in that energy of deep thought and stuff, because it was the reading for the new moon that's happening in Aquarius next week. And speaking of Aquarius, we're in the age of Aquarius, which is new ideas and stuff like that, which kind of brings me to this article too, which is a really, really cool thing. But yeah, I wasn't even sure if I was doing this, but I was like, you know what? I want to talk about this because this is pretty cool. Even though this has been going on for a while in different variations of this, but now is sort of semi-official, at least in Europe. So I thought it'd be cool to talk about the story. Now, before I get into that, KIRWKC.com, main podcasting platform. This podcast is carried on Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Overcast, Bullhorn, Amazon Music, Audible, and several other podcasting platforms. Please feel free to listen to this podcast on whatever platform is most convenient for you. KIRWKC on all the social media platforms. Here we are. The flying car is now officially certified to hit the skies. So this came out yesterday, and they say it's official. Climb Vision's futuristic flying car has been given the green light. The simply named Air Car was recently awarded an official certificate of airworthiness by the Slovak Transportation Authority. After completing 70 hours of rigorous testing, the hybrid vehicle, part aircraft, part car, successfully executed more than 200 takeoffs and landings that were all in line with the European Aviation Safety Agency standards, according to a statement released Monday. Climb Vision said the aircraft showcased astonishing stability. I was about to say abilities. Astonishing stability throughout the challenging test flights. It was even able to take off and land without the pilot touching the controls. In other words, it passed with flying colors. Get the pun? Ha ha. All right. Climb Vision. To recap, Professor Stefan, I take it, instead of Stephen, Klein and his eponymous firm have been working on the air car for more than 30 years and have delivered a number of different prototypes to date. The air car that achieved the crucial certification milestone known as Prototype 1 sports a gasoline-powered 1.6 liter BMW engine good for 160 horsepower, along with a fixed propeller that gives a little more grunt. Speaking of engine, my longtime listeners, you already know the deal. I'm by the window. There's a truck that usually starts up in the morning, and they have a loud engine. So yeah, that's what that is in the background. All right, back to this. Along with a fixed propeller that gives a little more grunt, it can reportedly fly up to 82,000 feet at top speed at 108 miles per hour. Okay, wait a second, I'm confused. It's 160 horsepower, fixed propeller. It can reportedly fly up to 8,200 feet at a top speed of 118 miles per hour. Okay, well, I guess what's going through, I know some people are like, okay, KC, what's going on? What was going through my head was, well, most cars can do that. But then I was like, well, cars won't be in the air. But then again, if it becomes a mass thing, I don't know. Okay, we'll discuss after I finish this article. Let me finish this article. What's more, the Transformer-like two-seater can turn from a sports car into an aircraft in just 2 minutes and 15 seconds. This was demonstrated last June when Klein completed a 35-minute flight from Slovakia's Nitra to Bratislavia airports in Prototype 1. After landing safely, the professor retracted the wings with the push of a button and drove the car into the city center. The company claims this half the typical travel time. It's worthwhile noting that you will need a pilot's license to helm this baby. That's what I was thinking about. We'll discuss that in a minute. Klein Vision. Air car certification opens the door for mass production of very efficient flying cars, Klein said in a statement. It is official and the final confirmation of our ability to change mid-distance travel forever. Klein Visions hopes to have the first air car commercially available within a year. It also has a more powerful version in the pipeline too, which has an estimated top speed of 186 miles per hour and a range of 621 miles. Okay, that's pretty cool. That model is expected to be certified in 12 months' time. Looks like 2023 will be a big year for flying cars. Okay, so now that we've went through all of that, let's discuss. Yeah, the whole pilot's license thing, and this is my other thing too. You would need runway for this. Oh gosh. I feel like, tell me if I'm wrong. Or whatever. You can leave a message in the comments if any of this is resonating with you. Tell me if I'm wrong. I feel like this is something where you're just going from, it's like you would have to fly from airport to airport, if that makes sense. Like, you know, the smaller airports and cities, obviously you have the big airports, the international ones that everyone knows about, but then you have the smaller airports that people don't always hear about. And I feel like this would be something where if you're headed to a certain destination, you would sort of, and it's not far, you would fly to that airport and do it that way, is what I would think. I don't believe that, I couldn't imagine, or either I feel like this would be something where you're out in, you know, suburbia, in a suburban area, I guess, or not in the city. You know what I mean? I can't see somebody being on the 405 in Los Angeles and then they're like, you know what? I don't like this traffic today. I think I'm going to take to the skies. I don't see that happening. I don't see it like that, where if like there's a traffic jam or something and then you see there's a traffic jam coming up and you're like, okay, let me convert into aircraft mode and take off, because you're going to need room to take off and do that. So I don't believe this will be something like that. I believe that maybe if you're about to go somewhere, and obviously you can check traffic because technology, and it says, okay, and I'm just using Los Angeles 405 because that's what I know. I'm still new to Dallas, but it's saying like, okay, well, there's traffic delays on the 405 right now. You will be stuck extra 20 minutes or whatever, and then it's like, oh, all right, well, let me just go ahead and take off from where I'm at and then land at the local airport or something that's close, maybe Santa Monica airport, and do it that way, if that makes sense. I don't see this being something where you're just frustrated, you have road rage, and then you take off. I don't see this happening like that. I just don't. Now, on top of that, going back to the license thing as well, people are already nervous enough going to get their regular license. They're saying that you would have to have a pilot's license. And then the other thing is, this is different. This isn't like a plane. This is a car plane or whatever. So what's the certification for that? Is it the same thing that I would love to talk with these people? Because I have a lot of questions. Is it the same display layout? You know what I'm talking about? Where the dashboard and everything, where it's laid out similar to what you would see in an airplane. Does it have that same type of layout? Because one might think that it would be a little bit different. Who knows? But if it is the same, okay, then you have to get an actual pilot's license just to fly your car. Okay. That would be interesting. And then also now I'm thinking about insurance. What is the insurance going to be like on this thing? I have a lot of questions. So yeah, but I just think that it's cool that this has been approved. And it's really, really interesting. They had a thing showing the wings doing what it does. I'm trying to find it. Hold on. Because what the wings do, they're almost like, you know how suicide doors look on a Lamborghini or something like that? That's almost what the wings do. They go up and then they come down, is what they do. I'm trying to find a video for those who are watching this video with me and blah, 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 blah. Because I had seen a video of them showing what it does, how the wings do it. And I was like, that would be so cool. Hold on. I think I got something. Let's see what we got. Let me hit the sound here. Is it going to play? Mercury, are you messing with me? Play. Okay. This isn't. There we go. Hold on. It seems like it's loading. All right, while it's doing that, I'm going to go to another page. I can be quite impatient at times. When I want to see something, I want to see it. Ooh. Hold on. I got something. I'm going to close this out.
Autopilots have been used in planes for more than a century. But many people are fearful of autonomous systems driving our cars. So what are some of their similarities and differences? Autopilots are designed to help with some of the more...
Okay, we're talking about autopilots, planes versus cars. That's not what I'm looking for. What's coming? Pilots versus... Flying cars certified to fly. Okay, this is on YouTube. I'm going to have to skip around on this. I'm looking for it to land. Hold on. I think I found it. Wait a second. Okay, now you see that. I have to turn off the sound because for those who are watching, now you see how the wings did that. How they went up, came down, and then the tail came in. That's what I was talking about. So let me go back. I'm going to show this to you again. And then let you see it. And now, okay. That does look pretty cool. But would I want to get a pilot's license? And how much is this going to cost? And see, there we go. It landed right there at the airport in the field. The doors come up and then the wings go up and then come down again. Then the tail comes in is what it does. So yeah, I wanted to at least get a video for those who are watching the video. That way you can see it. and do that. But that's pretty cool though. And then it drives like a regular car. I feel like it took over 100,000 man hours. Hold on, I gotta pause this. Get off my screen. It took over 100,000 man hours to create certified Aircar Prototype 1. Aircar flew 70 plus hours of test flights, including cross-country with 200 takeoffs and landings, exercised full scale of flight and performance maneuvers, demonstrated very high level of maneuverability and flight stability, takeoff and landing without pilot intervention. And then it says click a button. Click of a button, continuous transformation, 2 minutes to transform between car and aircraft mode. So yeah, that's pretty cool. Let me see if there's anything in this article that, since I'm on it, performed intercity flight, 35-minute trip between international. See, that's what I was talking about. So yeah, that's what I mentioned before. I feel like it's going to be like that. I don't think this is going to be something where people are just taking off constantly from their driveways or something of that nature. I just don't see that, at least not now. Maybe in the future, and that could be a selling point too for a new, like if you're building a new subdivision, like a community or something, where once these become more mainstream, that's a selling point. Like it's saying, okay, this, because you know how like you have the country club stuff and the pool and the tennis court and all that stuff in certain subdivisions and housing communities, and that could be a selling point to say, also included along with the tennis court, we have a takeoff area for those who have the air car and so on and so forth. Maybe they should consider doing like an agreement with like reaching out to real estate developers who are developing new communities and saying, hey, we'd like to partner with you to make sure you include a runway for the air car. And it would be more for the more upscale communities. And then that could be a selling point for the community, saying, hey, you don't have to get on the highway. You can take off from right here, right from 5 minutes away from your house, if that, or 2 minutes away from your house, and then do what you have to do. Just throwing it out there. This is just my brain thinking. My mind is constantly thinking. I'm an idea person. So anyways, that's all I have. Let me get going. KIRWKC.com, main podcasting platform. This podcast is carried on Apple, Spotify, Google, iHeartRadio, Pandora, Overcast, Bullhorn, Amazon Music, Audible, and several other podcasting platforms. Please feel free to listen to this podcast on whatever platform is most convenient for you. KIRWKC on all the social media platforms. Until next time, be blessed.